In this video, we would like to step by step create a histogram. So in the first column, in column A, I have created some random numbers. That is to give us the flexibility to create different problems, but in order to avoid dealing with random numbers, when I explain the procedure, I go over there, I mark them, copy them, come to this column and paste special them by values. Therefore, while the numbers in column A are continually changing, numbers in column B are fixed. Now we want to define the number of bins, the number of categories in our histogram. There are several rules to define the number of categories, and none of them is perfect. Therefore, usually we use one of these techniques, but then we incorporate our own judgment to define the appropriate number of categories, which is usually something between 7 and 14. One of these techniques is 2 to the power of k. If k is number of categories, 2 to the power of k should be greater than the number of observations, which in this situation is 100. 2 to the power of k. And here I have typed k equal to 4, 5, 6, 7. I have not typed 1, 2, 3, because if I have 3 categories, that will not be a very nice histogram, except for very specific distributions. So that is 16 over there. Then I can copy it down. And as we see here, when k is 7, 128 will be greater than 100, and that is where we stop. So here I have typed equal to if this number is less than this, and I make this one absolute, then continue. And I should put it in brackets. Otherwise, stop. Continue. Continue, because 32 is not greater than or equal to 100. It is less than 100. Continue, and here stop. Now I know that I have 7 categories. So I'm going to go there and type 7 as the number of categories. But I don't do it by just typing 7. I would like to make it a little bit more flexible. So I say VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP for what? Look for stop. Look where? Look in this array. After you find stop, and exactly stop, that is why I put 0 at the end, write down what is in the second column in front of stop. So because I'm talking about second column, I put 2 over there, close parentheses. So now I have 7 over there. But just for a minute, suppose it was like this, and stop was corresponding to k equal to 8. That 8 is now automatically over there. Now it is 9 over there. I used VLOOKUP function, and by using it we also have a taste of what VLOOKUP function does. And I come here, my bin width, the width of which category is equal to the range of numbers that I have divided by the number of categories, and that is around 12,000. So each category, each bin has a width of about 12,000. The start of my first bin is where the minimum value is, and then the end of the bin is equal to start of the bin plus the width of the bin. And then I lock it because I'm going to copy it down. While I want J5 to become J6, J7, J8, but that J3, which is the width of the bin, I want it to remain fixed. Start of the next bin is the same as end of the previous bin. And then end of this bin is equal to this number plus that one, so I just need to copy this down. Now I go here and I want to stop when I have reached the maximum value that I have observed. Is this value less than what we have here? That is our maximum value, and I lock it because I am going to copy it down while I want J5 to become J6, J7, J8. E5 I want to remain E5. Is this number less than the maximum value we have? Yes. As soon as the start of a bin is greater than the maximum value I have, I want to stop. Is 372 less than this one? Yes, it's true. What about the next number? Yes, it is true. True, true, true. Here, at this point, I have reached the maximum value, and I don't need to have more categories. I have 7 categories here. Now I go here, conditional formatting, highlight, equal to, if what is over there is equal to false, paint it like this. And then I go and format all these columns. So up to here it is true, and then it is false. So now I know I should stop here. One other thing I could have done is go here, say clear rules, conditional formatting, new rule, use formula. If this one, if it is equal to false, and that one I want to unlock 5. I want just I to be locked and 5 is relative. I say if that is the case, then fill it with red. And then I paint format it. And I go down, now it is red. I paint format that one. Now I have this table, but who wants to have a histogram where the first bin start from 372.55 and then increments are 12, 35, 8.3446. Therefore the first thing is to make this one integer, or even better, to drop everything except the last digit. For example, if I have something like this, the best thing is to be able to round it to 10,000, equal to int, integer of this number. Now it is easy to compute its length and find it is composed of how many digits, equal to len of this number, and that is 5 digits. Then I want to remove 4 digits of it. 5 minus 1 equal to round this one, comma, negative this one. Enter. So now instead of 12,000 something something, I have 10,000, which is a nice number, equal to minimum divided by this. And then I will integer it. And now it is 0. But suppose minimum was not this one, but it was 33333. Now look, this 3333 is 4 times of this one. Therefore, if I multiply this one by the bin range, I will get a very clean number. So minimum will become clean and range will also become clean. Now let's do everything in one step. What I will do here, will go and first type range divided by the number of categories, which is here. Int. I will make it integer. Then I go and compute its length, which is 5. Length minus 1, which is 4. Round. Range divided by the number of categories to what? To length of that one minus 1, and put a negative sign in front of it. And close the parenthesis. 10,000. Right? Then I'll go here and I say equal to minimum. But divide the minimum by the width of each category. Therefore, if it is less than width, I get 0. If it is a little bit more than width, I get 1 point something. If it is 2 times of width and more, I get 2 point something, and so on and so forth. Therefore, I get some number, and if I integer it, that means how many times of the width that minimum is. Here I got 0.4, and I integer it, and I will get 0. If I have got 1 or 2 or 3, what I will do then, I will multiply it by the width of each category. Now for a minute, suppose this was 5, 5, 5, 5, and this was 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So the minimum was 5,000 and something. The width is 4,000. So the minimum is at least 1 times the width. Now if I multiply this by width, I get a very clean number as the starting point, and I can continue from there. This was a trick to make it possible that the minimum is a multiplier of the width, and width is a clean number. Now we are here. I'll go to this column and I type equal to quotation mark from space quotation mark and here, and quotation mark space 2 space quotation mark and here, and then copy it down. These are my bins from 0 to 10,000 and so on. I go here, I type count if, and then it tells me give me the range. Now I'll go here and I select this and lock it, comma, what is your criteria? Say my criteria is less than and this one, enter. 20 of those numbers are between 0 and 10,000, and then I copy it down. And I had 100 numbers, so everything was covered here. Then I go here and I type equal to this one. So here it tells me 20 numbers were between 0 and 10,000, 30 numbers were between 0 and 20,000. But I want to find it out how many numbers were between 10,000 and 20,000. So I'll write equal to this one minus this one. Enter and copy it down. Compute the summation, it is still 100. So now I know in the first bin I have 20 observations, in the second I have 10, in the third I have 30. I could have found these numbers in a different way by using count ifs function. I type equal to count ifs. Give me the range. I'll go here. F4 to lock it. And what is your criteria? Greater than or equal to this one. I put this quotation mark and comma, and then if the same thing is less than this number, and then I copy it down, the same thing. Then I come here and I compute cumulative frequencies equal to, this is the total number of counts divided by this one, and lock it and enter and copy it down. Then I compute the relative frequencies, that is equal to this one or this one, doesn't matter which one because they are all the same, divided by this one, and lock it, enter, and then copy it down. Then I come to this column and I say it is equal to this one, enter, and I copy it down. Then I go to conditional formatting and I say data bars, and I click on one of these, for example this one. Then I go here, conditional formatting, manage rule, edit rule, and then I say only show the bar. I don't want to see the numbers because they are already over there. So I click on this, OK, and OK. Now I have a histogram here. I will go and select the number of observations that I have seen in each category. And then I go and say insert. I select this chart. Look, these columns are the number of observations, but here, horizontal axis, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. These 1, 2, 3, 4 are just tags, just names. They do not have numerical meaning. And I know that on my horizontal line I want to see these names, not 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll go here, select data, edit, and then I'll go here and select these numbers. OK. So now on my horizontal line I have this information. I again select data, add. So I click on this one, cumulative frequency, and then over there I click on this. Say OK. OK. Now I go and select this data, change series chart type, and I go here and I select line. Okay, that is my line, and it automatically took it to the right axis, where here it goes from 0 to 1 and over there from 0 to 25. This one, because I know cumulative frequency is at most 1, so I go here and I say format axis, and I change this 1.2 to 1. Now I go here and I type equal to mean, equal to this, and then I click on my average, which was here, enter. So mean is equal to this number, and suppose I want to round it, round my average to 0 decimal point. So this is my average, and semicolon, comma, space, coefficient of variation is equal to space, and then I close that one, and standard deviation, this one, divided by average, that is the meaning of coefficient of variations. Then I enter it, so mean is equal to this, and coefficient of variation is equal to this, which there are a lot of decimal points. Round this number to 2 decimal points, not more than that. So now I have mean equal to this, and coefficient of variations is equal to this. Then I click on chart, I go here, equal to, I click on this, enter, and that would be my graph. Now, if I go here and change these constant values to random numbers, and I copy it down, if I go here, now I have a dynamic chart. As soon as my data are changed, the graph is updated, and also mean and coefficient of variations are updated. Thank you very much.